As a kid, I grew up with VHS. I went to college with DVDs and now can't possibly fathom owning either when compared to streaming. You know, why own a movie or even rent it at Blockbuster when you can pay a monthly fee to watch all the movies you want with Netflix, instead of buying DVDs, which replace VHS? When it comes to music, you can now listen to all the music you want with Spotify, instead of buying music albums digitally, which replace CDs, which replace tapes, which replace vinyl. When it comes to transportation, why own a car when you can have your own app connected driver like Uber or Lyft pick you up? That's right. We're all living in the access over ownership world where monthly subscriptions seem to be the norm. However, in the blockchain ecosystem, blockchain being the software that underpins cryptocurrency, ownership is a central component, which is why I think it's important to discuss the value of owning something on blockchain, or a blockchain verified digital asset. I'm Jarrett Carpenter, and this is Wifi Water. Okay, let's break down that last mouthful of jargon. Blockchain verified digital asset. What does this mean? First, let's start with blockchain. What is blockchain? Blockchain, at its most core, is a chain of blocks that contains information where all users can access the information. It was originally created to put timestamps on digital documents in a way that wouldn't allow any user to backdate or tamper with previously recorded dates. Remember, it's just a chain of blocks that contain information. In the world of cryptocurrency, this information is the details of the sender, receiver, and the amount being exchanged for any one transaction. Now let's try to imagine how this all works. Imagine a block with the number 1 on it, followed by a second block with the number 2 on it, and so forth and so on. And each of these blocks contains transaction information, which are autofilled as transactions occur on the network. So let's suppose you're putting information into block 8, but realize you want to change the information in block 2. In order to do this, you'd have to change all of the information in blocks 7 through 2 before the transactions fill up on block 8 and the system moves on to block 9. You see, once information or transactions have been recorded on the blockchain, it's extremely difficult to undo or alter them. In 2009, Satoshi Nakamoto leveraged blockchain to create Bitcoin. Blockchain is a software protocol that allows Bitcoin to exist and flourish in a network worth nearly $1 trillion today. Because it works like a public ledger of recorded transactions, it creates a trustless network and allows users to exchange value with one another without knowing one another. Now, there are a lot more elements of blockchain, but I think understanding that it's a public ledger that creates transparency that is difficult to change is good for now. Okay, the second word, verified. Why did I choose this word? Well, it's because the blockchain, as a public ledger of information that's really difficult, if not nearly impossible to change, is likely the most useful technology to verify the authenticity of something, or verify that a transaction has occurred, or at an even smaller micro level, that something has happened. Each blockchain needs to continue to create blocks full of information, transactions if we're thinking crypto. And each time a transaction occurs, the network of distributed computing needs to verify the transaction before it can be put on the blockchain. If we return to our most basic mental model of the blocks with numbers being filled by the system with transaction information, before a transaction can be added into a block, it must be verified by a set amount of the block builders on the network. So, if I send my buddy Jeff Bitcoin, before he receives it and it gets deposited in his digital wallet, it must first be verified by multiple block builders before it can be added to the block. In crypto, these builders are called miners, as they're the network support system that ensures that blocks continue to be added with transaction information. For their work, they're then rewarded with a fraction of Bitcoin, which, after many transaction verifications, can be a pretty penny or pretty amount of Bitcoin in this case. So, because the network is constantly verifying new transactions, owning Bitcoin or an NFT on the Ethereum blockchain are both examples of blockchain verified digital assets. Digital, because at their core, it's all one and zeros, and an asset because blockchain verified digital assets are now widely accepted among the financial world as part of its own growing asset class. Okay, but why should you own one? Why should you take your dollars, pesos, euros, yuan, rupees, etc., and turn them into a blockchain verified digital asset? Well, for four reasons which are fundamental to understanding how human civilization advances: community, currency, culture, and curiosity. Number one, community. Blockchain, as we know, is the software that underpins cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, NFTs, and Web3 of the metaverse. And it's going to allow people around the world to find their community over the internet in a way that's new for all of us. Holding blockchain verified digital assets like Bitcoin or Ethereum can open up your world to a whole new monetary community, and holding a particular NFT can grant you digital exclusivity to new and global communities online like we've never seen before. Throughout history, humans have always found a way to seek out like minded individuals, and blockchain verified digital assets will only see this continue to flourish. Number two, currency. Blockchain verified digital assets are going to be the currency of the future. The US, Europe, and China are already investing into creating their own digital versions of the dollar, euro, and yuan, respectively. China is bounds and leaps ahead in digitizing their currency, but the US and Europe aren't too far behind. The idea of a CBDC or central bank digital currency is much closer than we all think. Even today, less than about 10% of dollars in circulation are actually in physical or tangible cash. And since the dollar is the world reserve currency, that's a lot of money already digitized. Not on the blockchain, but digitized. So the next logical step is to put dollars and euros on the blockchain. And from there, almost every other currency will follow or just start to use the new CBDC that will be issued by the United States. And if the old world is non blockchain digital dollars and gold, well, the new world or future will be CBDC and Bitcoin. Bitcoin being not just a replacement for gold, but a far superior store of value. There's another part of the currency conversation here where I should mention that human civilization has always levitated towards the hardest money, which in this case would not be the CBDC, which I've just mentioned. But I'm going to leave this for another episode entirely, when I further explore why Bitcoin could eventually overtake even the US dollar or the future CBDC. Number three, culture. Much of our value in society today is invested into what's cool or societally accepted, or what we all agree upon to be valuable. This idea of perception of value is why people will pay $380 for Yeezy slides, which probably cost no more than 75 cents to produce out of a plastic mold in a Chinese factory. But they've got the Yeezy brand, and so culture dictates that they're valuable, the new flex, and so people will buy them. Well, NFTs are just this, but for the future, the metaverse, Web3, and kind of where we're going. And some of the biggest projects already have A-list celebs and artists as holders in their community. NBA players, rappers, comedians, actors, actresses, DJs, and just about everyone who's blue checked on Instagram is buying an NFT or thinking about getting into a community or project as I record this podcast. Maybe this isn't my strongest argument, but remember, humans are community driven and will likely invest resources into what the community or culture says is cool. Number four, curiosity. Now, when I say curiosity, I really mean technology or technological adoption. But I had 3 C's before this with community, currency, and culture, and I really wanted to keep the alliteration going, so bear with me. But seriously though, humans are curious, and that leads to technological invention and then subsequent adoption. Well, the tech has been created and is currently being refined in real time when it comes to blockchain. And every year, more and more people are becoming curious enough to invest into the blockchain verified digital asset ecosystem, where cryptocurrency, NFTs, and Web3 or the metaverse exists and will continue to flourish. So, to quote Ted Lasso by way of Walt Whitman, be curious, not judgmental, and dive into blockchain verified digital assets. You don't even have to buy anything to learn more and see what's going on. I started my journey into this world back in 2017, and well, it's 2022, and I'm personally inviting you to take a peek, stick your head into this digital global house party, and just check it out. And maybe, just maybe, curiosity will lead you to invest. Thanks for listening to this episode, and for more info on cryptocurrency, please check out episode 44 and 55. For more info on why you should consider investing in Bitcoin as a long-term store of value, check out episodes 48 and 49. And for more info on NFTs, check out episode 57. And for more info on Web3 or the metaverse, check out episode 59. And if you're looking for some technically written PDFs by some of the world's biggest banks and investment firms because you're all podcasted out, drop by my website at jarrettcarpenter.com/crypto. That's JARRETT carpenter.com/crypto. And there are documents there from Standard Chartered, Bank of America, and Goldman Sachs. All of these documents are very well written and give an objective review of where blockchain verified digital assets are and where they may be going. Please be sure to follow the podcast on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at Wifi Water, and be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening to the pod. And if there's someone out there who you think would benefit greatly from hearing this episode, please go ahead and share the link with them. Thanks again, and I'll see everyone next time.